back. You're now watching the lifestyle segment on the Weekend Show. As unemployment increases by the year in Nigeria and more Nigerians are being driven into poverty, a lot of young people have gotten into different forms of businesses and entrepreneurship to ensure that they have some form of subsistence to succeed and to exist in the society. And so we've also known that the informal sector has contributed so much to the GDP of Nigeria. Now we're moving from the years of certain fields being seen as the most professional fields like engineering, medicine, law, to an area which has started generating a lot of attention, even in Nigeria. It's generated attention all over the world. But art is something which I'm interested in. I can't draw a cup to save my life, but we do have some lovely artists here who are going to talk to us about art as a career. And joining us we have
Jacqueline Soiree, who is a multidisciplinary artist. Her journey into art started from an early age of 5, and for the past decade, she has stunned her ardent collectors and global audiences with magnetic pieces, which over time have grown larger than life. Welcome to the show. Good morning. We also have Elo Deborah Odibo-Madaki, who is an NGO public relations consultant, co-founder of Lyra Nigeria and Lyra Consult, a media marketing and communications agency. She is an art curator, an NGO consultant in partnership with Art Talent Africa. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Of course, last but not least, we have Uchechukwu Agnata Dobri, who is a lawyer with a passion for art, culture, and societal contributions through charity and the development of talent. She's also the founder and chief of operations at Not a Flower Girl Limited, an establishment set up to promote sustainable practices for businesses as well as providing professional support for creatives. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, dear.
I was told I'm blessed amongst women. So Beyonce dropped an album yesterday. So
yes.
it's a women's week.
Oh, yes, yes.
Jacqueline, you were on the show last year, twice before your exhibition, which I attended. So tell us, how did that go and how has it been since then? I've seen you on CNN, Forbes and all the likes, but please.
I think everything has been nothing short of magical. When you say you want to be an artist, you don't start out because you want to be famous or anything. You start out because, for some people, they start out because they want to make money. But for me, I started out because I wanted to just make a difference. I noticed that, that wasn't the course I was even encouraged to study in the first place. So I just wanted to make a difference. I know that if I succeeded in that course, I succeeded in being an artist, then other people will encourage their children to be artists too. And so I started out just wanting to be the best I could be to inspire younger people. And I think the last 2 years, 1 year has been amazing, actually. I didn't know that, the world's a global village, definitely, and everybody's watching Nigeria. You know, even with all the news, bad news coming from Nigeria, everybody's watching Nigeria for the next best thing. And it's been amazing so far.
Okay. So I know Uche as a lawyer, and amazing when I've known her for years is that. So what made you transition into art?
So I've always had a passion for art. Like, even when you knew me from uni,
Yeah.
I'm always sketching in class. That's how most of my conversations with people start up. Oh my God, that. And then coming to Nigeria, going to law school, and while in law school, I never dropped the passion. I realized that I just kept increasing. So I decided I wanted to put purpose to my art, to my passion for art. I actually have met Jacqueline. She did an interview that I was at to assist her for her next project, which is Kush Hush Hush.
Yeah.
And, so I just decided, and coming into the world, I saw a lot of artists, so much talent, but no professional approach. Like, they just want to make a quick buck. So I made it my point at the grassroots, where I found myself with my artists in my streets, around where I live. We started growing together. I go to them to learn, to improve myself. And while doing that, I was like, oh, so this is what I probably had this law for, to be able to bring some guidance to artists to be more profitable, one, to be more organized, because impact is about community. So if they can impact their immediate community, then they will make the most profits from their talents, and it would be just a symbiotic relationship. So while honing my art skills, I started my company officially and then began to work with some artists like Afiz Yusuf, and work in some studios as well, you know, to put a structure to the art. Like, you're an artist, are you a commercial artist? You're an artist, what would you like to do with your art? Do you want to be graphic? Do you want to be a traditional artist? What message are you moving with your art? Or is it just about the money? If it's about the money, how do you treat your clients? Are you making sure that you're delivering on time, that you're taking work that you can, you know, you can submit on time to your clients at the deadlines and all that? So putting all this together has just been a learning curve, and nothing short of like an open door to seeing the vast, you know, what exists is so mind-blowing that we just need to, if we don't organize it on time, it will just keep going around in circles, and there will be nobody to, you know, keep the history to show this is the trajectory of how this has risen to this point.
Talking about organizing, I like that you people bring different angles to it. I see Jackson also doing mentorship at the moment, which I think is amazing. But Deborah, what caught my attention was there was some exhibition or event of sorts which you and your team did at an IDP camp earlier this year or a year ago. And with what she was saying about organizing, it's important that we have curators and we have people who are in that space. But I've seen people work from IDP camps to also going into NFTs, which is an uncharted territory. So tell us about Leora and the work you guys do so far.
Okay, so Leora Consults is a communications agency. We also do PR consulting and NGO consulting as well. I am one of two founders, my husband and partner, Mr. Charles Oche, who is the second half and the brain and strategy part of Leora Consults. And what we do together is that we in every single project that we do, whether it's art, whether it's any business and everything that we do, we try to channel this sense of positivity, light, and hope, and trying to contribute as much as we can to the future generation. So like you said, at the beginning of this year, we had an IDP outreach. We went to an IDP camp in the corners of Abuja, and there were over 100 children there who we catered to. We taught them a few art skills, just got them inquisitive, and tried to create awareness that there is no one way to have like a future. There's no one career. Like she said, most of us maybe have studied something else, but we end up practicing another because our passions are what fuel us every day. So in everything that we do, we try to channel that. And then you said NFTs as well. There are different forms of art, and we try as much as possible to explore all the options that we have. Also, as Uche said, it could be traditional art, it could be digital art, it could be AI art. There's so many forms of art. And for us, we believe that if the world is going, like taking more technological advancements and going, you know, really high, Nigeria should not be left out. We should be able to be the standard that other people are competing with. We should be the ones that people come to for art. We should be able to curate and contribute to the culture of art in such a way that when we look back at history, the names that you see here today will be the ones that will be referred to in the art history and culture of Nigeria. So that's what we're going for.
So talking about passion, Jacqueline, what is that thing that motivates you? What is it that you love so much about art that keeps you going?
I don't think there's a direct answer to that, but I'll just try to be specific. First of all, the ability to express myself I first of all started by drawing. That was like the initial, I think that's what everybody that's an artist starts with, drawing. But the ability to express myself, and through technology and all that, we now have new forms of expression in art. So there's film. I recently got nominated for the AMVCA, one of the awards, because of one short film I did. And that was my first short film. And so the ability to express myself through short film, sculpture, painting, poetry, performance, this is, I mean, it's just like speaking one language and interpreting it in different ways, you know. So that kind of gives me like this joy. Secondly, it's the impact. So people walk up to me and they tell me, oh my God, I like the way you're pushing your dream and I want to pursue my dream like you. Uche belongs to a group of people I'm currently mentoring. And I do it like on different levels. There's the established artist, emerging artist, everybody's emerging artists now, Sha. But the emerging artists, the ones that are teenagers, the ones in primary schools, you know, I have this foundation, Passion for Art initiative, that actually encourages parents and children, provides them with guidance on how to go about it. Because when I was growing up, there was nothing available, no resource available for parents, and then for my parents. And so they were like, what are you going to do? Please, you're going to fail. Please don't do this thing. You know, but when parents can see that there's actually a structure, I mean, I have a lot of people sending me emails, oh, can you enroll my child to this thing? Can you enroll my child? And it's actually all free for now. And it's actually because of that passion. So two things inspire me to do art: the ability to express myself and social impact. I feel like everybody is put on this earth for a purpose. If you're able to live in your purpose, then it's like a ripple effect. You're affecting other people's purposes. And that is what I'm trying to drive people to do with my career, not even just as artists, as any other field, anything you're doing. Basically, if you are able to come into your full self there, you inspire a lot of people. So yeah.
Okay.
Talking about inspiration, I'm aware there was some exhibition of sorts last week which you took part in, Uche. Meanwhile, Jackson owes me painting, but back to Uche. There was some exhibition you took part in last week, and I think, Debbie, you also were a part of it, and I really wanted to attend. Tell us about the pieces which you exhibited, and what's your thought process when you go into creating art?
Okay, so this exhibition was mainly to raise money for an IDP camp initiative to enable the kids have resources for their summer school. So I picked out some paintings and artwork from my archives belonging to some artists I had worked with and managed to a level, and then new artists that are just common in the company that we're working with. So the point of the art was not for sale. We auctioned a live art piece at the end, but it was just to show people these are the kind of things we can give these kids with no opportunities. These are the magnitude of things that exist in the mind of young Nigerians. These are the things that people coming from other countries bring their foreign exchange to buy, and they appreciate it here. So why can't we appreciate it? Like, get people to see what exists and what can be done and why we're doing this. So when I'm creating for me comes from a place of I want to be better at expressing myself. Because when communication is breached, it's difficult to inspire. Like she said, you have to be able to express yourself through your art so that you can communicate to people what you're trying to say. If there's some people that use their art to correct social ills, like they expose what is going on in our society, some other people use their art to relate to people. And I was fortunate at my primary, secondary school level to have that foundation of art, to be taught about artists, the older ones who have done things great. And I could relate to one or two of them, and I'm like, oh, I like this. And this is an easier way to express myself. This is an easier way. I fall back to illustrating fashion. And when I do that, I'm always thinking about utility in my designs. I'm always thinking about comfort. I'm always thinking about just bringing out people's real authentic selves through things. Like, let's let go of the things that cage our minds and let us open our hearts to what exists, because really the universe is a well of knowledge, and art is the best way to tap into that knowledge. So there's only so much we've not even scratched the surface of it.
Okay, so last I checked, we're in 2022, and art has become a big deal. It just puts, like me personally, I love art. It makes me smile whenever I see. I try to interpret. Please, I was best in my secondary school.
Everybody was best at everything.
Drawing. Anyway, but now, no, obviously.
So I'm only the non-artistic person around.
Yes, clearly.
I have words.
All right, so, but now I want to know, you guys have sprinkled a bit on the financial aspect, but how lucrative is art in Nigeria?
I believe it's a growing market. For instance, in 2020, I was part of a team, like Liora essentially, consulted for one of our clients, and our goal was to essentially promote African artists, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa, and to also support people who had been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. And so we did the Art Challenge, and we were able to fund a few artists with thousands of dollars and promote them and essentially put them on the map. And from that, we saw that there were hundreds of people who applied. And we got a chance to speak with them. We got a chance to do a bit of research to see how exactly the market is, not only in Nigeria, but in their own countries like South Africa, Rwanda, Kenya, Cameroon. And what we're finding out is that depending on where you are, there is a cultural acceptance of art. For instance, in Nigeria, there have been a few misconceptions about art, that it might have links to negative spirituality and stuff like that. Or if you're an artist, you are not smart. You know, they see you drawing. You had the chance to sketch in school. They see you drawing. You get flogged for that in school most times. So there's this level of being beat down as an artist, so much so that hardly ever do you even see the right type of artists producing their artworks. That being said, the people who still strive and still create their art beyond these cultural misconceptions now tend to struggle with the issue of demand and supply. You know, Jacqueline said that she started to create her art not because she wanted to be famous or she wanted to be rich, but because it's her passion and it just comes naturally to you. So there is this dissonance, might I say, between being creative and being in your passion, and then the financial aspect. I don't want to sound a bit lewd or a bit too gloomy, but the world statistics actually say that 75% of artists do not actually even make minimum wage or sell their art to that extent. So that is why when you have people who keep pressing on, when you have people who keep creating and putting themselves out there, we encourage it because it's like speaking. It comes naturally from you. You understand? So it is something that needs to be developed. It's something that needs to be worked on, which is why also when the whole buzz, even before the buzz of NFTs came in, my husband and I already knew about it, and we were already working towards working with artists who will be able to sell their art globally, and it did work. We have so many artists who we have coached and mentored and directed via Lyra Consults who have sold thousands of dollars worth of art online. And they keep creating, not just because of the money, but because it's what they do. It's a thing of passion. But one thing I do advise Nigerians to do is to look beyond our shores and open our minds. The Cameroonians, the people in Senegal, they are way there when it comes to art and its acceptance. And that has an impact on the cultural value, you know, artists and their artworks have. So it's not just about can I sell, it's also about my environment, the people you talk to, how you network with yourself, and which is why I appreciate the fact that we're trying to make this more like an institution of art, not just artists here and there. It's like collectively we can elevate the industry, which is what Lyra Consult is trying to do.
Talking about art, I sold my first NFT at some point this year for $200, and I'm so proud of myself. But before we let you all go, Jackson, are you proud of me?
Yeah, very proud of you.
And I know some artists, and when they get there, they get to earn a whole lot of money. I was in Paris, and I went to the Louvre, and I was just in awe. But before we let you all go, what's next? And we'll start with you, Jacqueline.
Me?
Even though your projects are always shown in secrecy, but what's next for you?
Well, so it gets to a point, I've been practicing art now for 12 years. And so I think it gets to a point in your career where you're like, okay, let me redefine myself. And with the Now I Wear Myself exhibition last year, I decided to redefine myself. Because during the pandemic, I mean, everybody had times to just like think, what if the world is ending? What am I going to do if the world ends today, you know? And then I decided that all these things I have, all these talents, writing, performance, sculpture, film, all these ideas, why am I limiting myself to being a ballpoint pen artist? Because that's like my specialization. I draw with the ballpoint pen, very massive drawings. But I was like, I want to do more. But you know, this box of, oh, this is who you are. You're a painter. This is what you're supposed to be doing. I wanted to break out of that. And I actually went back into the history archives, and I saw that there were a lot of artists in olden times that used to be doing plenty. Da Vinci, for instance, was a scientist, he was an artist. Nobody boxed him in a cage. I was like, okay, let me just do this thing. And so I decided to come out as a multidisciplinary artist. So who does all these things? So it's one language, but in different expressions. And then it has been actually very inspiring for me and humbling too, because it's not everybody that has all those gifts in one person, and the ability to just inspire people with it is beautiful. So moving on to what is next, it's one thing to say, okay, I have all these superpowers. How do I use them? And so in the next few years, I mean, hush, hush, I can't say everything, but in the next
just tell 2 billion people.
in the next few years. So, but let me put it this way: I am gathering enough ability to direct these things.
Self-development.
Yes, there's self-development, and then there's also the outward development. You know, I'm trying to organize the structure. So wherein there's this, of course, there's my development, there's development of the people I'm mentoring, and I told you it's in different levels. So that's the direction right now. I know that there's money to be made, there's work to be done, there's people to inspire. But I think for now, I've done a lot of creating in the studio. I just want to see how that impacts people, and then see how that also inspires me myself. You know, it's one thing to just pour yourself out. Sometimes you have to take some steps back and just look inward. I have a show coming up in October in London. And,
congratulations.
Yes, thank you. So I've been working towards that show, and I think after that I'll go quiet for a bit.
Okay, Uche, what next?
So Not a Flower Girl Limited is a brand that was created to support, sustain, and strengthen. So when we meet artists, I keep meeting them, I get calls, Ma, I want to sell my work. Most times when I call them and I want to have a longer conversation, they're like, why is this woman disturbing me? I just want to sell my art. I'm like, so why do you do art? What kind of art do you do? I'm not one to box anybody in, but if you want to be taken seriously, really, even all those people that do a million things, they were known for something and they were doing it well. Like she said, I mean, I was there at Now I Wear Myself, and that's one tag. If you check my posts on Instagram, I always do Now I Wear Myself hashtag, because I could relate to it. I could understand why I wear myself. It means I wear who I am. So when an artist calls me and they want to sell, I want to understand, are you trying to just do this for the quick change? It means people will price works of over 100,000 for 5K if you just want money. But if you're doing this because you're trying to feed a bigger dream, you're trying to grow an establishment, and then good riches come when you've paid the price and the foundation is strong. So basically what we do is we encourage training. While we want our country to be developed, if we individually develop ourselves in everything that we do, if you're a tailor, tailor well. If you're an artist, do it well, do it, pour your heart into it. If you're a poet, say the words, let it touch the hearts of people. Whatever you just want to do, do it well. And that's one thing my company tries to do. It brings people together to ensure a structure and something that makes it easy to relate to, something that simplifies complex relationships into, okay, and then helps you develop the brand that you want to be. So we would keep doing that. We're open to when people DM us, call us, we see how we can help them. We plan events, mostly charitable events, but if people want their solo exhibitions and stuff, we do that. We love to collaborate because that's the easiest way to go. Community is the best way to go.
How can we find your organization and your work?
Also, my organization is Not a Flower Girl Art on Instagram, Not a Flower Girl Official on Twitter. And we have a website at uyuuchange.wordpress.com.
Great. Deborah, what's next for Lyra?
Okay, so Lyra Consults is founded upon the values of optimum health in the workplace. It's also founded upon passion for females, and it's founded also upon the need to leave an imprint in society and have impact beyond everything that we know, beyond our knowledge. So what's next for us? We're going to keep doing what we do, which is impacting hundreds of lives, especially children, through art, through development, and through social awareness. We've done several projects, including art exhibitions. We've done outreaches to orphanages, IDP camps. We have given funding to artists from all over Africa. We've done many internships just so we can build this community of art in Africa. And for us, up next is that we have a project which we've been working on that I cannot overindulge in information.
Information until it's ready.
Until it's ready. Once you guys see it, then you would know. But we're working with several key stakeholders in the art industry in Nigeria to be able to host at least an auction sale so that we can raise even more funds for these charity outreaches. We also have our business which we run, which the business side of things, which is the communications, the strategy and the public relations side of things, where we essentially develop businesses from where they are to where they need to be. So it could be an exhibition, it could be an art event, it could be anything really.
Where can
essentially.
we find you guys?
Okay, you can find us on Instagram at Leora Nigeria. That's Leora Nigeria. And you can also find us on LinkedIn and on Twitter for the same handle. And you can also call us on 070-6776-7605.
Send out 10% at the end of it. Jacqueline on the phone at Jacqueline Soari on Instagram. Beautiful work. I found her work before I got to meet her. This was amazing, wasn't it?
Beautiful.
Are you inspired to do
Yes,
some
I think I should go pick
You
up
should.
my,
I'll be waiting. We need one for this wall. But for our viewers at home, that's a good place to leave it on this segment. I want to say thank you to Jacqueline, Uche, and Deborah for coming on. We are inspired, and we look forward to having you guys also again on the show. And also, I want to say happy married life to Samuel Oyeni, one of our colleagues here on the Weekend Show. We wish you all the best. We wish you a happy married life, and we'll come into the rise later. Entrepreneur Spotlight is next. Don't go away. We'll be back shortly after this break.